Every time I see Asa, it almost makes me more excited about having a baby. Like the stuff that I'm doing now, it almost gives me peace knowing that I'm believing in God that we'll have, a beautiful baby in the end of this. I know we will.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Cole Life. Today is a really special session because we want to talk about a very life-changing update that has been affecting us the past couple weeks/months and the rest of our lives.
We officially started our round 2 of IVF. And it's been a plethora of emotions, let's say that.
But it is official. We are trying for number 2. Mm-hmm. Asa deserves a baby sister or baby brother.
Yes, and we want one. We want a baby sister or a baby brother.
Very much so.
We're super excited about the journey. We've been taking some time and praying about this. And honestly, it's been a lot of different emotions because we're going through a different company. We want to talk about what's different, what has changed, and what we're doing differently than last time. But real quick, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. So this journey has been very interesting because we wanted to kind of start the process a lot earlier. We wanted to start it in January. We didn't realize there was a waiting list. And then with the waiting list, we wanted to go with our other company. The company's waiting list was way longer than the company that we're going to, the organization that we're going to now. And the process that we're going through now is a lot longer. And they also highly recommend some things that we weren't sure if we were comfortable with.
It's just a lot more, it seems like, in depth with the way that they go about things, which is okay because we actually have had friends who've used them and their success rates are incredible. This organization absolutely knows what they're doing and we're very, very, very confident in them. But it is a different process. Yeah. It's much more laborious. It is, like Lexi said, a longer time frame from start to finish, and definitely more medication for you.
Yeah, and honestly, at one point I was, just in a slump because I felt like the process was longer, and I kind of wanted Asa to have a sibling that was closer in her, closer in age. And that kind of threw me off because I was like, man, why did I wait so long? What was the reason? And God had to remind me that I didn't want to put God in a box, like assume that I'm just supposed to start IVF because I did IVF before, I'm supposed to do it now. Like I wanted to make sure that I gave God space that if he wanted to do it organically, then we could. And realizing that didn't happen, then we started. And so I had peace about it, but it's just a process of getting to this place and getting to starting IVF, now starting with a new organization. And then we got to genetic testing.
When we wanted to start, like you said, was January.
Yeah.
And then actually I think it was before January, but then we were put on a waiting list for like a month or two before you can even start the process of starting the process. So
right.
It's a lengthened timeline for sure. And then I know Lexi was thinking about the age difference. Asa would be potentially like around 3 years old by the time the baby would be born, which is a little bit more than a gap than we wanted. But like you said, it's in God's hands. But the genetic testing was definitely something that it presented some, curveballs.
Curveballs, and just like we had to really think about it, I guess, and take some time. Because it's just different. IVF was different for us, and now this is different. There's just a lot of differences of of both companies. Like, I don't know if you guys have watched our previous IVF videos, but I put 2 embryos in, and I was really told to do that. It was a very much strong thing. Like, you need to put 2 in. This company does not really believe in doing 2. And a lot of people in the IVF community, I guess, are straying away from putting more than 1 in, which that is something to think about because we had 2 and only 1 produced. So it's very, very interesting.
Well, the philosophy is that if we do genetic testing, then we know a lot more details about the embryos, and they get to pick which one is the best and most healthy and is the best opportunity for conception. So, definitely understand the philosophy, and they are very, very, very strongly recommending it. But God gave us peace about that situation, that decision, and then the ramifications of it. But I think what's interesting is, the first round that we did to have Asa, after all the eggs and everything that was produced and all the embryos, we were only left with 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, preference would have been to have multiple eggs that we can freeze, and then the round 2 would have been so much simpler and easier. We wouldn't have had to go on through all the injections again. We wouldn't have to go through all the birth control and all the hormonal imbalances and everything like that. We could have just done the transfer, or the insemination rather. So now that we don't have eggs, we have to start the whole process over again, which is daunting. And our prayer this time is that we'll have enough eggs, and that the processes that we're going through now with increased medication and all of these things would be that we produce more embryos that we can freeze, and then if we have to go round 3 for a third child, then we wouldn't have to go through all this. I think for me, the first time we went through this, there was a lot of emotions for me on a number of different factors and scales, but primarily I just didn't know / fully comprehend, understand like everything that was going on. So when it came to even like the injections, I had a moment of like freak out where I'm like, I can't get this wrong, or like, I'm gonna be injecting the wrong stuff in her.
It was a real strong day for the first day of injections last time. It was rough.
It was rough, but it wasn't just the injections. It was just the whole process and just trying to understand, like, what does this mean? How do I feel about it? I was very anxious about Lexi. I was very anxious about me. Like, I had a lot of emotions that were up and down trying to balance this whole process and everything that it meant. This time around, I think that now that we've gone through it, we have successfully gone through it, and I know what to expect. I think now that number 1, we have the end result being Asa, and I can see her, feel her, touch her, hug her. Number 1, that makes everything even more worth it.
Every time I see Asa, it almost makes me more excited about having a baby. Like, the stuff that I'm doing now, it almost gives me peace knowing that I'm believing in God that we'll have, a beautiful baby in the end of this. I know we will. And it's a good feeling. Especially through the times where you're feeling a little overwhelmed. I mean, me and Brian, we had, like, long story short, like, even through our injections, we, had a stomach virus come through our family. So if you hear a little bit, that's what that is, us being stuffy. But it's just a lot of stuff that's happening during this time. And honestly, God has been giving me moments of peace, moments of understanding, like, this is only a short-term thing.
And I think for me, this round, again, for some reason, my emotions have really leveled out. I'm not anxious. I'm not concerned. Like, I'm in a very emotionally balanced place where instead of, I think the first round, I was trying to figure out how to support Lexi through this ordeal, but also trying to figure out who's going to support me and how do I support myself, because I was also going through things. This round, I feel like I'm stable to the point where I can fully invest my time and my energy into supporting her, because she's the one that ultimately is really going through all of this, and her body's the one that's being affected and changed with the imbalances. So, I mean, it only makes sense that I'm in a good place to take care of, you and what you're going through emotionally and physically.
Yeah, I feel like we've been supporting each other of just making sure that we're okay, but also I've been reminding Brian that he's been doing a good job, because I know that he's been taking care of all the injections. He knows how to mix all the solutions. Like, he's been doing it every day, same time, consistently, and he's been doing a great job. But I think during this time we need to remind each other, we're in this together, we're learning together. It's okay. We may have some mess ups, but I was talking to Brian yesterday and I was like, I feel like we're just in this together. I don't think that we're both running around with our heads cut off, like we did last time a little bit. And then we had to learn how to be together. I feel like because we've went through that, now we are really kind of in sync, which helps.
Absolutely. Some of you may have been here for the first round of our IVF journey. Some of you may have not. But one thing I do want to make very clear with our story is that the reason why we have to go through IVF is actually because of me, not because of Lexi. Some of you may have known that, but it's actually something going on with my body. And so that changes the dynamic and the narrative for a lot of people who think it's usually the woman or assume it's the woman. And that's something that emotionally I had to deal with a lot the first time around. It's not something that I'm grappling with now, but what still hurts and what is still a part of our experience is that because it's my body, she's still the one that has to go through everything. It's not like because it's my fault, I can take all the injections and I can take the hormonal imbalances and I can go to all the doctor's appointments and do the ultrasounds. Like it's still her going through this process because of something that's wrong with me. So I know for Lexi, that's even something, it's not like we blame each other for these things or resent each other, but it is still a little trippy because she has to go through something that's not because of anything her body is wrong with.
And I think just the feeling of, because we had this conversation of like, how do I feel about that? And I think the biggest thing I was telling him is that I think the fact that we are a team and I feel like you're with me, it doesn't make me think about those things. It makes me think about, you know, the appreciation that you have for me. All of that makes me feel good knowing that we're in it together. So
I think if I wasn't supporting you or I wasn't, you know, there with you every step of the way, it'd be hard to not have resentment. Yeah,
I think that would be hard, especially if you're like, well, you just do it, like, don't, you know, you don't need me, like, you do this on your own. Like, that would make me feel some type of way.
I have not been perfect through this process by any means, but you know, I have been checking in with Lexi and asking her, what can I do to support you? What can I do to, you know, hold you and be here for you emotionally, physically throughout this process? I have a question for you though.
Okay.
So there's a lot of women who have hit us up on Instagram, YouTube, recently and in the past, of, you know, sharing their stories and that, hey, they're about to go through their IVF journey, they're about to start theirs. What advice would you give to women who are like in the journey or embarking on the journey or thinking about it?
I would say the biggest thing is have a person. Like, if you're doing this with your partner, if you're doing this you know, with family, whatever, like, have a person that you're talking to about it, and just a confidant. It doesn't need to be a bunch of people, but keeping it to yourself can cause a lot of just emotional trauma, and not having someone that's supporting you, that's praying for you, that's even rooting for you, that you just don't feel like you're alone. I think that's the biggest thing I learned last time I went through it. And this time, knowing that I have people that ask me, hey, what do you need? I legit tell them, pray for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very open about where I'm at right now. Like, trying to act like everything's okay. No, that's done. That's gone. Like, somebody asked me while they were walking past, like, hey, I saw you doing the IVF, like, how you doing? I was like, actually, my mind's kind of crazy right now. Like, my mind's was a little loopy, but I'm getting to a better place. Like, they ask if anything you need, pray. Like, pray for me. Because the more people that are supportive, the more people that are, you know, believing in you, that you know, that are rooting for you, like, that just makes you feel good. From a more logical standpoint is do your research. I think last time I didn't do as much research as I am doing now, and I'm learning a lot more. So doing your research on ways that you can just keep your body healthy, keep your body active, like, that is important during this process. So I would say that's a huge thing.
I would give advice to the husbands or the partners of those women, just to say, you know, number one, don't minimize what she's going through, because it is real. Talking. It is real. Don't downplay it. It's not just like, oh, she has a cold or she's got the flu. Like, it's something so much bigger than taking care of her in those scenarios.
Yeah.
Emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything. And this is a perfect opportunity to be selfless. if you ever need to learn and practice selflessness, now is the time. This is the time to give up what you want, where you want to spend your time, what you want to be doing, and just pour into her. It's something that she needs right now.
I appreciate that. So where we are right now in the process is we are day
4.
Day 4 in injections. I have 2 shots. Before I only had 1 shot. Before we did a cocktail, which they put all of the stuff together. It was 1 shot. With this, it's in the beginning there's 2 shots, and then the second week there's 3 shots, and then before the egg retrieval there's 4 shots.
Yeah.
So they separate them. I don't know why. I'm gonna do some research if you guys are curious. But right now I'm doing 2, and then eventually it'll get to 4, and then
that's a lot of pokes.
It's a lot of pokes. It's a lot of pokes. So we're gonna take you guys on this journey, and our egg retrieval is actually Aza's birthday.
Yeah.
Yes, egg retrieval.
So they pull the egg out of on her birthday.
Yes. And then because we're doing the genetic testing, it's not going to be immediate like we did last time. Like we waited 3 days and then we did the egg transfer. We're doing the genetic testing, which is going to take, I think, 2 to 3 weeks. And then we're going to be doing the, the egg transfer.
Yeah, so think sometime in May.
Yeah. Is
when we should be.
Yep.
Preggers.
And if that's the case, it'll be right next to Aza's birthday when we end up having the baby.
No.
Wouldn't it? Mm-mm. When would it be?
It'd be like 2 months before. It'd be like February. I keep telling you that.
But I think it's June.
It's still,
I think we might end up being June, not May. But either way, we'll see. All in all, we're just thankful that we can share our journey with you guys. We appreciate you, and let us know if you have any questions, because I know that we have a huge IVF or just fertility community through us sharing our IVF journey not last year, but a few years ago. So ask us anything. We'll be in the comments.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We will talk to you later.
Love you guys.